Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best 144Hz monitors.
Starting at number 5.
Gigabyte G27Q27. If you enjoy a 27-inch screen or are building your first gaming setup, a cheap monitor might be the best option. There are a few choices you can choose from. While most low-cost 27-inch monitors don't offer many gaming features, the Gigabyte G27Q is a good choice if you still want great gaming performance for a low price. It's a cheaper version of the Gigabyte M27Q, with the main difference being that it doesn't have a KVM switch. However, if you're only connecting your gaming PC to the monitor and not another source, you don't need the KVM switch, and you can save money with this monitor anyway. The G27Q has many of the same gaming features as the M27Q but has a lower 144Hz refresh rate. While motion doesn't look as good as on the M27Q, especially at lower refresh rates, it still has a quick enough response time that you won't notice much motion blur. One advantage this monitor has over the M27Q is that it has a different panel with an RGB subpixel layout, so text clarity is better.
Coming at number 4.
LG 27G2850B. You can choose from plenty of lower mid-range options if you don't need a 4K monitor like the Gigabyte M27U. The LG 27G2850B is an excellent gaming monitor with a lower 1440p resolution, so images aren't as detailed, which is the main trade-off for getting something cheaper. It's also sold as the 27GP83BB at various retailers, and both models are excellent for gaming. The strength of this monitor is its fantastic motion handling with any refresh rate, and it also has a backlight strobing feature to reduce persistence blur, so you know motion looks smooth and crispy with most games. It has FreeSync VRR support and is also GSANC compatible, which is great if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. It has a native 165Hz refresh rate, and the 27GP850B model has an optional overclock feature to boost it up to 180Hz. However, if you want an even higher refresh rate, consider other 1440p options with a 240Hz native refresh rate, like the Dell Alienware AW2723DF and the Gigabyte M27QX. However, those cost more, so they're only worth getting if you'll take advantage of the high refresh rates.
At number 3.
Gigabyte M27U27IN. If you find the Sony Inzone M9 still too expensive, a mid-range option like the Gigabyte M27U is a good alternative. It's very similar because it has a 4K resolution and 160Hz refresh rate, delivering excellent gaming performance. However, the main trade-off is that it has worse picture quality with an inferior local dimming feature. It also supports only 24 gigabits per second of HDMI 2.1 bandwidth compared to 40 gigabits per second on the Sony, which means your graphics card needs to use compression for high bandwidth signals, which could negatively impact the picture quality. However, you'll still be happy with this monitor unless you need the best picture quality possible. Besides that, it has everything you'd expect to find in a gaming monitor, like FreeSync VRR and GSANC compatibility. It also has a fast response time and even has a backlight strobing feature that aims to improve the appearance of motion. This works at the same time as VRR, which is something many monitors can't do and is a neat addition.
Number 2 of my list.
Sony 27-inch Inzone. If you're concerned about permanent burn-in risk or just want something cheaper, consider the Sony Inzone M9. It doesn't deliver the same deep blacks as the Asus ROG Swift OLED G27AQDM because it doesn't use the same OLED panel. However, it still has an okay local dimming feature that helps improve the black levels, and it also gets bright enough for highlights to pop. If you want something that gets even brighter and has a better local dimming feature, the Inzone M27M2V is also a good choice, but it can be harder to find. One advantage of the Sony over the Asus is that it has a higher 4K resolution, which results in more detailed and sharper images. It also has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth that lets you take full advantage of HDMI 2.1 graphics cards and current-gen gaming consoles. It even has a few features that you can only use with the PS5, like auto HDR tone mapping to optimize the HDR performance in games. In terms of its gaming performance, it has good motion handling and VRR support to reduce screen tearing, but it has a max refresh rate of 144 Hz, much lower than the 240 Hz on the Asus.
And number 1.
Asus ROG Swift. The best 27-inch gaming monitor we've tested is the Asus ROG Swift OLED G27AQDM. It's a 1440p OLED monitor with fantastic gaming performance and excellent picture quality. It has a 240 Hz refresh rate that offers a smooth gaming feel and a near-instantaneous response time for incredible motion handling across its entire refresh rate range. It also has variable refresh rate, VRR, support to reduce screen tearing. Its OLED panel even offers excellent picture quality, especially if you game in dark rooms. It has a near-infinite contrast ratio for deep blacks, and the monitor gets bright enough to make highlights pop. However, this technology has some drawbacks, as OLEDs risk permanent burn-in with constant exposure to the same static elements over time. If you play different games or watch varied content, this isn't a major concern, though, and you still get fantastic gaming performance. Another downside of this monitor is that there are bugs with its HDR performance and input lag on its original firmware, so you need to update it to the latest firmware for the best performance. If that concerns you, you can also consider the LG 27GR95QEB, which uses the same panel and has fewer bugs but doesn't get as bright.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.